Now it's 3 in the morning, and I'm trying to change your mind. Left you multiple missed calls, and to my message you replied. Why'd you only call me when you're high? Why'd you only call me when you're high?
Okay, everyone. So against Stable Win, he brings an Electrifier and uses Earthquake. I really didn't know what to do, or I didn't really try to predict anything. My only concern was to get the Stealth Rocks early in the match. I get them in, and he hits me with the Electrifier using one more Earthquake. While this is happening, I quickly Google Electrifier's weakness and find out that he's weak to the ground. So I hit him with Earth Power, and then he kills my Nidoqueen using one last Earthquake. Then I think, dung beetles live underground. So I send in Heracross. I think he gets scared because he switches in Bronzong. I quickly change my query to Bronzong on Google, and what do I find? Weak to ground, haha. So, what a fool. I keep Heracross in and use close combat and take like half of life of his HP. Then I switch in Chandelier, and then Bronzong uses Trick Room. I guess that brings up his HP a little bit. Bronzong gets taken back to his daddy. Then he brings it Clawitzer, which is kind of scary looking. I use Overheat, which isn't really effective. Then Clawitzer uses Dark Pulse, which is super effective on me and kills my little clan Chandelier. Celebi was supposed to be legendary, but he wasn't legendary at all in this match. Okay, I forgot his name. I'm sorry, guys. I'm not good with these pronunciations. I bring back in Heracross. So then he brings in Cafargricus. And then we use close combat. And then he restores his HP because he's scared. I bring back in my Heracross. And then I bring out Jellicent, who is fabulous. He uses Will-O-Wisp against me. And it doesn't do anything to me. Nothing. So then he takes back his thing I can't even pronounce. Brings out his Bronzong. Then I used Taunt against him. And then he fell. And then he brings back his HP, probably by using some kind of cookie. I take out, actually I don't take out anything. I still have my Jaleficent in. I use Toxic against him. I guess he uses Leftovers to restore his HP. I use Taunt against this guy. And then he uses Knockoff against me, which kind of hurts a little bit. I guess he restores his HP using Leftovers, and then he leaves the scene. Then Among Us comes in. This mushroom creature looks pretty cool, so you use Scout against him, which burns him really bad, or not. I guess he used Black Sludge to bring himself up a little bit. So then I use Toxic again. Then he uses Toxic against me. I guess my Nematocysts aren't as stinging as I thought. So then I use Toxic against him. And he used Foul Play, which is super effective. I guess I'm poisoned at this point. And then he uses Black Sludge. And then I use Recover, which brings me back almost 85% up. He uses Foul Play. And then I'm still kind of poisoned. So then he restores his HP using the Black Fudge, and I die. And then I bring out Heracross, my good old dung beetle. And then he uses Foul Play against me. I try to ram him with my horn, my mega horn. And then he tries to put his spores on me. And then I say, no way. What do? I take it out and I bring back Umbreon. Then Among Us uses foul play. I guess I use some kind of leftovers to bring up my HP. He takes out his mushroom. He brings back out Bronzong. And this is my opportunity to struck him by lightning. And then he dies. Yeah, take that, Bronzong. And then he brings out his Clawlitzer, whose butt I'm about to kick. I use foul play against him, and he dies right away. There you go. Goodbye. And then he brings out Gastrodon, which I've actually never seen. Is that like a slug? And I use a Heal Bell. Then he uses Infestation, which actually kind of stinks a little bit. Then I use foul play against him. And I guess it hurts him a little bit. Then he tries to burn me with Scald. So then I, what do? I use Wish. And that, I don't know why it brought down my HP. Oh, the Earth Power brought down my HP. Okay. So now we're tooth and nail at this point. I use Protect. Then he uses Scowl. I'm protected. Then I bring up my HP by using my Wish. And then Gastrodon uses his leftovers. And I'm able to use Foul Play. And it brings him to half HP down. Now I'm down again because he's a Scald on me. Yep. We're going tooth and nail now. Then Umbreon uses Wish again. Gastrodon uses Earth Power. And then I faint. My poor little Umbreon faints. And here I bring out the Jellicent again. He takes out his Jellicent and brings out his Electivire. I don't know why he did that, because I'm about to kick his butt. I use Recover. Then Umbreon's Wish comes true from the last couple moves. And then I bring out Heracross. And Electivire uses Wild Charge against me, which is actually really effective. And then, I don't know what happens, but I make him faint somehow. Then Among Us comes out. And I use Aerial Ace on him, which kind of brings him down about 25%. He poisons me with Toxic. And then he brings his Black Sludge out to restore his HP. Then he takes his Among Us out of the scene. And then takes out his Cofagrius. And then I ram his butt with Aerial Ace. Bringing him down. Bringing him up. Well, I didn't bring him up. He brought himself up. He kills... I take out my, my Heracross and bring in my Jellicent. And Cofagrius goes out. He brings out his Among Us. And then I use, Taunt on him. And now he's taunted. Then he takes out his Among Us. Then he brings in his Gastrodon. Then I take a Scald on him. And he restores his HP with his leftovers. And then I use Toxic against him. And then he uses Earth Power against me. I guess it must be Mana War season. 'Cause it looks like I'm about to chase him away. Then Among Us comes back out. I want to eat that mushroom so bad. I use taunt against him, which doesn't really do much because he brings it back with his HP with the black sludge. He takes out his Among Us. He brings out his Pythagoras. And then, my Jellicent uses Recover. Now his HP's all the way up. But Pythagoras is, poison right now, so I guess we have upper hand. Jellicent, has like a medium HP right now, so he's doing pretty good. He takes out his Pythagoras, and then he brings out his Among Us. He's being really tricky switching out these Pokemon. I'm gonna use Recover on my Jellicent. Then he restores his HP using Black Sludge, sorry. And then I use Taunt against him. And then he brings out the Black Sludge again. He's obsessed with that stuff. And then Pythagoras comes back out. And he gets poisoned. That's good. And I use Scald against him. And he uses his leftovers. I use Scald again. I just Scald him again. Just burn his butt. And then Pythagoras uses Pain Split. Use Scald, I'm guessing again. He's scared. He took out his Pythagoras. Brings out his Mushroom. And then I use Recover. To bring up my HPs up. And then he uses Black Sludge to bring up his HPs. And then I taunt him. And now he's taunted. And now he can't use Toxic after the taunt. So then he restores his HP with Black Sludge to try to poison me again. So then I'm guessing he's going to take out his Gastrodon. Yep. Alright. Then I use Scald. Burn his butt a little bit. He uses some kind of leftovers. And he's toxic. He's poison now. So then I use Taunt. And he can't recover after the taunt. Ha ha. He's losing HPs to trying to bring him up. And so he takes out his Gastrodon. And he brings back his Pythagoras. And then he tries to point some stones at me. But I Scald his butt. So then I use Taunt. And he can't use Pain Splint after the taunt, so he's kind of stuck there, taking what I give him. He takes out his Pythagoras. Then he puts in Among Us. And then he's probably going to put in another slug guy. And I use Scald against him. And he uses Black Sludge. This mushroom's strong. I think I want to get one of these guys. So then he uses Toxic. And then he uses Black Sludge again, trying to take out the taunt, but that doesn't work, of course. Gastrodon takes all the taunt that he can get, because he's not coming back. Losing HPs, trying to bring up his HPs. And then I Scald him. And then Gastrodon uses Infestation, which isn't pretty effective because my Nematocysts are like so much better than his. Or he doesn't really have them. Really. So then Jellicent uses Taunt. Gastrodon uses Earth Power. Which isn't really effective against me. Or I guess it is. Put me in the yellow. So then he takes out his Gastrodon. He brings out his Among Us. And then Jellicent uses Recover. And Among Us restores his HP using the Black Sludge. Jellicent uses Taunt. And then Among Us can't use Toxic after Taunt. Haha. This Taunt really works well against these guys. So then I use Scald against him, which isn't very effective. Then he uses Foul Play against me, which is super effective because it kind of brings me down almost halfway. Then he brings it back his Among Us and takes out the Pythagoras, which is really weak right at this point. And then I use Scald with my Dulicent. He takes out his... Actually, the Pythagoras died. And now Gastrodon comes out. Dulicent uses Recover. And Gastrodon uses Recover. My Dulicent is looking very strong at this point. And this Gastrodon is looking poisoned. So then he takes out his Gastrodon. He brings out his Among Us. And then he points his stones at me, which I'm not scared of. I use Taunt. And he's taunted now. So now he tries to restore his HP, which he can do. And then I use Toxic on him. And then he uses Foul Play against me, which takes me out like about 20%. And then he uses Black Sludge to bring out the taunt, but he can't. So then I use Scald against him, which isn't effective at all. I get Foul Played against him again. And then he uses Black Sludge and takes out his Among Us. And then he brings out Gastrodon, who's poisoned. And so I use Recover to bring up my HPs. Gastrodon restored using HP using its leftovers. Then I use Taunt against him. He can't recover after the taunt. So if you're gonna fight against Gastrodon, I guess use a taunting move because he can't recover after that. So then he takes out his Among Us. I use Recover to bring up my HPs. He tries to bring up his HPs. And now I taunt him, so trying to see if maybe I can get him to not recover, which he can't. So then he can't use Toxic. Among Us comes out of there. Gastrodon comes out. This is so exhausting. Die already. Then I use Scald. Which he brings himself up somehow, I guess using his leftovers. But he's still poisoned, so then he brings back in Among Us. And he points his stones at me, and I use Taunt. And he fell for the taunt. And then, he is hurt by the burn. And he brings out Gastrodon, who points stones at my Dulicent again. I don't know what's up with them pointing stones at me, but it's kind of annoying. So then he takes out his Among Us again, and then he points his stones at me. I use Taunt against him. These taunts really throw off these guys. So now he's taking Among Us out. I'm putting Gastrodon back in. So I use Scald, trying to throw off this Gastrodon. And he did not like the Scald at all. I guess he's burned and poisoned. Then I use Taunt against him, and he can't recover after the taunt. So now I need to just hit him really hard and kill him. And then he takes out the Gastrodon right when I have that opportunity. And he brings out his Among Us. I use Taunt against him, so he can't use poison moves against me. He restores his HP by using Black Sludge. I use Taunt. He uses Foul Play against me, which barely hurts me. Not super effective. And then he uses his Black Sludge. He takes out his Among Us, and he's bringing back his Gastrodon now. And now I'm going to use Taunt. And then, hurt him with poison. Gastrodon comes back. Go Among Us. And then, Jellicent used cows, which is not effective at all. But then I used, Taunt. And I guess he can't use Toxic after Taunt. Haha. He can't poison me, but I can poison him. So it just tells you that Jellicent is a better poisonous Pokemon. Poisonous water Pokemon. So Gastrodon comes out. I just gotta use Scald. And maybe Taunt too. And then yeah, I need to get the Taunt here. Gastrodon can't recover, but he does a little bit. Okay, let me kill this Gastrodon already. Nope, he won't let me. So now, he brings out the Among Us. Then I use Recover to bring myself all the way up. Among Us uses Black Sludge. Opposing Jellicent use Taunt. Okay. And then I restore my HP with, or he restores his HP with Black Sludge. Gastrodon comes out. Gastrodon gets scouted by me. Then he's restored by leftovers. If I were to taunt him, then he would have just died by now. So then, Among Us comes back out, so I scald him. It's not really effective. So he uses Black Sludge to heal himself a little bit. Then I use Taunt. And then, he's trying to, I guess, like, poison me, but he can't. And so he takes out his Among Us, and he brings out his Gastrodon, which I don't understand why he brings him out, but it gives me the opportunity to kill him with this Taunt. Or not. I thought I killed him after that hit, but I guess not. So, I don't know, he hits me with Earth Power, which kind of gives me a whack, but then I give him, I think it was a Scald. And then he takes out Among Us, which I think is his last Pokemon. I use Taunt against him. And then he uses his Black Sludge. I use Scald. Then he uses Foul Play. So then, Among Us was hurt with a Scald, so I Scald him again. And then he uses Foul Play against me, which actually hurts. So then, he restored by using Black Sludge. Jellicent uses Recover, but now he's, poisoned by the Among Us. So Jellicent used Taunt against him. Among Us uses Foul Play. So then I guess I can't poison him because I'm already poisoned, so I use Scald. And he uses Foul Play against me, which is hurting me at this point. Oh my gosh. It's getting close, huh? Then, I use Recover, which brings me back up. Then he uses Foul Play, which brings me a little bit down. But not as down as he's gonna go. And now I use Recover. and he uses clear smog against me, which isn't effective. And then I burn him and scald him, and he is out. I won the battle, bitch.